Hello, welcome to the channel and thanks for joining me. So something a little bit different today. I'm going to take a quick look at stroke test of this Masterplug multi-voltage adapter. Now it's not something I normally do on this channel, but there is method in my madness, so do please bear with me. But as regular viewers to the channel will know, my videos are never scripted and this one is no different. So I do have a couple of tangents I think I'll probably go off on. Firstly, thank you very much indeed to those that do watch the channel, that like the videos and take the time to comment. It's great to have you guys on board. Also, I'm delighted to say that I'll be stepping up the quality of the video production soon as well. My girlfriend, bless her, has treated me to a new camera as a very early birthday present, so I'll be testing that out very soon. I've also now gone ahead and bought a new microphone as well to go with that, and a high-speed memory card and stuff, and I've got better lighting on the way. So hopefully it will not only look a bit better but also sound even better, because I think anything I can do to help improve the quality of the videos I put out to you guys will be well worth it, and hopefully you'll enjoy the benefits of that. But anyway, back to this particular one. This is a Masterplug multi-voltage adapter. Now, it wasn't supplied to me. I actually bought this with my own money about half an hour ago. I've just come back from town, and it was just time that I needed a new one, to be honest. And now, why do we use these? Well, as a lot of you guys that watch the channel, some of you are professional repair guys yourselves, or ex-shop workers, you know, electronic shops and stuff like that. Some of you are just general hobbyists and enthusiasts, and you haven't all got access to all sorts of, you know, really smart regulated power supplies and stuff like that. So I thought it might be quite nice to take a look at one of these. Now, incidentally, I'll just take the camera with me. I do use a regulated power supply like that one just there, for example, for working on boomboxes and stuff like that, because it's always useful if you need, you know, to put 9 volts at the back of a casing or something like that. It's quite handy, but sometimes it's just not practical. Now, for example, we've got things like this personal cassette player here, and this one's 3 volts, but it's quite tricky to actually get power to the board sometimes. When you're testing it out, if there's issues with the springs and you want to bypass it and test that, you know, you want to be able to plug it directly in there. And also, if you want to adjust the tape speed and the variable resistor is in there, you can't really get to it with the batteries in situ, so you need to run it off the mains to test the speed and stuff like that. And then you've got other things like, for example, this made in Japan 8-track player here only has 9 volts. Now, the battery contacts are generally quite corroded on these, and so it would only run off 9 volt DC anyway. But then if you're working on one, then obviously you want to be able to get, you know, get some power to it safely and reliably. Now, this is a American version actually, so this one comes with a mains input, and yes, you can step it up. Here in the UK, I've got a step up transformer, so I can run it off the mains if I want to. But ultimately, there is the idea there you can run it off DC if you wanted to do so. Then you've also got stuff like these games. I do loads and loads of these game repairs. I barely feature any of them on the channel, but I probably repair and restore probably, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 of these a week. Astro Wars, Scramble, Astro Blaster, Tron, all sorts of stuff. I do a lot of, you know, Firefox, what have you. So I do loads of that stuff, and that's 6 volt negative center pin as well. So anyway, basically, long story short, I've got a whole bunch of these different things that run off different voltages. Sometimes it's not safe just to open and work off mains. Sometimes it's not practical. For example, if I'm taking my regulated power supply and I've got these ends on it, and then you're trying to connect a little pin to it to be able to plug it into there, it's all just a bit crazy and a bit impractical. So it was time for a new one. Now, I've actually got, I'm just going to move some of my little props here out of the way. I've actually got a couple of these already, these multi-supplies, and here's one I've had for years, and you can see it's set to about 3 volts DC. Now, it's actually quite a chunky beast, a heavy beast, and that's actually putting out about 5 3/4 volts on that setting now. It's given up the ghost long since, and so none of these settings or numbers on there are at all reliable. And I've basically just got this one locked down at just under 6 volts, and I use that. For example, I could power up this Astro Wars really easily straight away. just by using that. But if I wanted to do a different voltage, it would really be unreliable, and I probably wouldn't be able to get the voltage back to 6 volts after anyway, so that's all a bit silly. And I've got another one here which is set to 9 volts, and you can see that I've got notes where it used to underread and overread and heaven knows what else, and that's set at about 7.5 volts, but actually outputs 9 volt DC. So you can see that basically you end up with all these chunky adapters, and one for every single voltage, and then you can't really trust them. They start to fail after so many years, what have you. So I thought, anyway, about time I bought myself a new one. Just make life a lot easier, free up some space in the workshop here, and hopefully it should be just easy, quicker and more reliable. So your first time of asking then, really. So we'll open this up and see what we've actually got in the box, and it should be fairly self-explanatory. So first up, we've got a bank of different connectors there, and they're reversible tips, so you can get positive or negative polarity. So we'll take a look at those in a minute. Then we've got the unit itself, just like so. And again, we'll look in more detail in a second, but basically we've also got instructions here which probably tell us not to put it in water, don't plug it into your ears and things like that. So what have we got? Yeah, so you've got, what's that, 3 volts, 4.5, 5, 6, 9 and 12 volts, and it just explains how the different tip polarity works. So the idea with these is you line up on the cord, it should say tip, and then we should be able to line that up with the corresponding part. So here's the cord, and let's have a look. There we go. So there it says, can you see it says tip on the end? And all we do is we line that up with the corresponding negative or positive, depending on which side you need. So that's the plan with that one. So first things first then, I think it might be nice to actually give this a bit of a test, I think. Just get this cable tie off and then see if the voltages are half accurate, and indeed try a few things out. So the unit itself is quite light. It's certainly a lot lighter than the old units here. These are really heavy old coils in here, and I think it's all digital stuff now, so it's a lot lighter. Got an LED to show the status light. And yeah, you've got your switch there from 3 to 4.5 to 5 to 6 to 9 and 12. So that's that. So yeah, let's try this, shall we? Let's plug it in and try a few things out. So first up, I think we'll try this personal stereo. And this is 2 batteries, so it will be 3 volts. And according to this, I'm just going to have a look here. It's a positive 3 volt positive pin. So first thing I'm going to do is take a wild guess which tip we need. Well, that wasn't bad. Okay, good. So 3 volt positive. So we line the tip with the positive. Set this to 3 volts, which is the minimum setting anyway. Plug that in. And what I should do here is just check the accuracy of it a moment, if I can. So we'll do a 3 volts positive tip. Can you see just in there? We'll see if this works. And 3.2 volts. There we go. Okay, got there in the end. So with that being said, we plug that into here and that should work. Yeah, I think there's a dodgy, it might not be exactly the right one, or it might be a dodgy connection on this. I haven't restored this one yet, but you could see that was thinking about working anyway. So that should be okay. So let's try Astro Wars, which I know is 6 volts. So we'll run that one to 6 volts and try that one. And that's going to be one a bit like, be one of these 2 end ones, I think. These are 2 point, there we go. And that's negative tip. And again, we'll just check the voltage. So we should be looking for 6 volts, negative tip. And we've got this one here, which is, let's have a look, 6.1. I'll take that. So we'll try that one. And yep, perfect, good stuff. So that one's okay. And just, I think we'll just, for a bit of fun, we'll try this 8-track player as well, and that'll be 9 volts. So that should be about there. And this one's also negative tip as well. And again, I'll just belt and braces, just check the voltage, as I've not used this before. 9 volt negative tip, and we'll just bring that into view. No, that's set at 12, that's why you always check it. Oh yeah, there we go. I'm just sort of bending over the other side of the desk there to see. There we go, 9.3, 9.2. Good stuff. Okay, so we'll just plug that in. And again, I don't know how well this unit works, but hopefully we'll get something out of it. There we go, bit of Neil Diamond, 9 volts. So we've tested what, 3 volts, 6 volts, 9 volts. All seems okay. So I think what I'll just do then, by way of just running through this, is we shall just check from the minimum 3 volts, and I'm going to come in and out on the audio for a minute because I'm actually just bending over to switch it on the wall as we go. So there's our 3 volts, 3.2. Then we move to, there we go, 4.5 is giving us 4.7. 5 volts is giving us 5.2, near enough. 6 volts is giving us 6.1. 9 volts is giving us 9.3. And 12 volts is giving us, yep, 12.25 at 12.25. So that's about right anyway, because if you're running, especially with decent batteries, you'll always get maybe 1/4 volt, 1/2 volt, a bit more anyway, perfectly within the sort of usable tolerances. So yes, that's really cool actually, that's not bad. The LED light is pretty good on there, that was quite bright. So yeah, in fact, it's still shining, can you see that? It's still got the residual current in there, a few milliamps running through that still. So that'll die down, that'll discharge on its own any moment, I dare say. So there you go. So it's pretty accurate, it's fairly reliable. The only thing is, and I can see how it'd be easy to confuse some of these, is that diamond there. There's not a lot of movement between them all, so you might want to just double check which one you're on, because it is slightly finicky. It's not as easy to read as the old dial ones, I must admit, but it is what it is. That's progress for you. In terms of the cable's pretty nice actually. It's quite thick. The original ones are, let me just find one of my old ones again. So you used to have the old 2-core cable there, so you can see how that fares in comparison. So you've got a solid round core now. Feels fairly solid. It should work for a few years hopefully. And you come with, what is it, 2, 4, 6, 7 different tips. So that should fit the majority of things that you need, especially for old electronic devices. So that's pretty cool. So I think this one wasn't cheap. It cost me about £17, which is probably what, $20 odd, $25 getting on. You can buy these cheaper. I mean, I did look on eBay and Amazon and various other places, and I found some that looked proper. They were cheap. I mean, they were like £6 or £8 or something like that, you know, maybe $12. And I just thought, yeah, they all were from different places, from all over the world, and yet had the same photos and stuff, and all just looked a bit cheap and nasty, and I didn't want to risk it. So I've had Master Plug before for years and never really had any problems with it, and I figured if I could just go and buy one from up the road, I've got the guarantee with it. I can take it back if there was a problem. You know, you kind of know what you get. I got it from a high street store. And also as well, as a bonus, is I did have a gift card already, so I didn't actually have to pay for this. I had a gift card that needed using. So, and I never normally go in the shop I bought this from, so it was quite handy because I managed to buy something with it. So all in all, a bit of a win really. Quite a nice little bit of kit. That should free up all of these other beasties that I've got here, so I'll be able to have it sort out and tidy up. Obviously I'll still use the universal power supply, the big box there, because that's regulated with, you can set the amp limit and stuff like that as well. So there will always be a time and a place for using that sort of stuff, especially on the boom boxes and what have you. But when you're just trying to power up personal stereos and things and just testing them, or if you've got something that perhaps is an international product but runs off of DC, then why wouldn't you use something like this? So anyway, that's all I've got for you today on this particular one. Like I say, I'll be upgrading the content of the videos soon, so look out for those. I've got about half a dozen videos that I have actually made that are due to be, they're scheduled for release over the next few weeks. And I've also got a few more videos that I've already filmed that I'll be editing down over the next month or two as well. But once they're through the system, all the new stuff will be a new camera, new audio, new lights, all that kind of stuff. So it should be even easier to watch, and yeah, hopefully you'll enjoy it. But there we go. So that's a quick review of the Masterplug multi-voltage adapter. Hope you found it useful and interesting. Please do comment and see if you've got something similar, if you've had any problems with them in the past. But anyway, in any event, take care, and I'll be back soon with more boomboxes, 8-tracks, personal stereos, retro games, all that kind of stuff. Stay safe. All the best for now. Bye bye.